Good afternoon from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's still the 3rd of December 2023. Here's little Charlie getting in on the action. And I'm making a separate video because I already made one earlier about our market experiences yesterday, which were both intense but also turned out to be magical and lovely. The yin and the yang people, from the sublime to the ridiculous and back again, and the ever concentric swirling of the psychedelic dreamer living her best life in spite of everything and anything and everyone, with the help of my friends and the gods and the spirits and ancestors that love us. Got a bit of chocolate here, that's what I'm plutzing over right now. It's very hot again. I am very exhausted. So I'm going to go to bed after I finish this video. I really need the rest. Mama T's getting old, disgracefully, as per usual. Don't you love it? No, Charlie, you can't have the chocolate. Chocolate's poisonous to birdies. So anyway, where was I? So I'm going to continue with my usual offerings, daily offerings, that I started on the 1st of November this year, of reading from my Vocal Media Facebook journaling. And as I go each day, adding in new events as they unfurl in my life in the most beautiful, profound ways, with great joy and sometimes astonishment on my part, because it has been an interesting journey the last 12 months, very interesting indeed. And apart from the horror and grief of losing our Beauregard, it's also been a beautiful journey as well. I'm looking forward to the next few years. For the first time in my life, I see a real potential of all my long prayed for, long manifested dreams all coming true, if I can get my health into some sort of reasonable state. That is still the big question mark that hangs over my head. But it always has. It's not really anything new. It's just a different malaise and a different struggle. But basically, the same kind of thing over and over again in my little groove, right? You should see Charlie's face. She's so angry I didn't give her chocolate right now. I get it, Charlie. Anyway, and so we begin, my darlings, while I can still synapse before I fall into complete exhaustion with the heat and sleeplessness. So, nice cup of tea I had to reheat because I forgot to drink it before. So today's offerings of the 3rd of December is entitled, got chocolate stuck in where my tooth is missing. It's a very weird sensation. Relinquishing an old photo to a family member, and Hanukkah is coming. Oh my goodness, 4 more days. Or, yeah, tonight, tomorrow night. It's the 7th, isn't it? 3 more sleeps, and then the evening of the 7th will be Hanukkah. 3rd of December 2020. So I obviously hadn't updated anything in the last 3 years. It happens. I haven't updated anything on any of my journal entries for the last few weeks because I've been making video logs instead. So they're going to look a bit Spartan when I review them in a few years' time, wonder where my head was at and what happened. I'll have to remember that they're all logged up as videos instead. Anyway, 3rd of December 2020. Last night I messaged Heidi, that is my half-sister Angela's half-sister. They share the same father. And asked her if she wanted the studio portrait of Angela and I, as if not, I'm going to burn it. At that period of time, I was burning lots of attachments to my familial progenitors and past. And one of the things I burnt that year, April 27th, was my big fat old teddy. And I burnt lots of, legal documents, which in a way, I'm kind of sorry I didn't keep a permanent record now, but it was keeping old seeping wounds fresh, literally seeping down the walls from my bookshelves, tainting that entire back bedroom. It's got to go. It's just got to go. So I kept a few things for genealogical interest and the rest got burnt because enough is enough. Seepage, babies. And it's taken me 3 years to actually recover from all of that, quite frankly. What are you doing, Charlie? Licking my finger? Look at this. She's licking my finger. There's no chocolate on it. There must be a tiny residue that she thinks is chocolate because she was having a good old little lick there. Come here. Stay out of mischief. Get off the laptop. Get off. Oh, no. Listen, don't bite his mama. You're not the boss of me. I'm the boss of you. New ward leader times 20. Get up here. You're too bossy. You are a bird. I am a human. I outrank you by both size and volume and status and intelligence. Maybe she is smarter than me since she's trying to dominate me. And spirit. I know you're a little two-legged defiant one, but I am the boss in this house. Keep dreaming, psychedelic dreamer. Keep dreaming. I'm the boss of this house, I tell you. She won't get on my finger, look. Come here, come here, come. Oh, now, finally. Hello. You're being very naughty. You're being a naughty girl. That was a little bit of a nip. Did you see that? She really is being a naughty girl. No bite his mama. No. I don't bite you. Don't bite me. I tell you what, if I bit you back, it'd be the Ozzy Osbourne experience, wouldn't it? Sorry, Ozzy. Sorry how everyone keeps throwing that in your face. Don't do drugs, man. Okay? Anyway, I'm sure it really wasn't. He didn't really bite the head off a bat. Anyway, I'm not going to bite the head off my own lorikeet because she is my baby, you understand. That would be weird. But every now and then when she bites me, I say, I'll bite your back. And if I bite, I'll bite a lot more of you apart. And she just laughs in my face because she's the new times 20 world leader. Anyway, where were we when we were interrupted by a very naughty rainbow lorikeet? Ah, yes. I'm going to burn the photograph of my sister and I, Angela, my sister Angela and I. Come here. Get off there. Get off the laptop. You're making it go all funny. It's gone all funny now. Look, never work with children and animals and apparently birdies as well. Oh, for the love of all the gods, what am I doing with my life? I'm sitting here wasting my life with you, Charlie. Well, I guess it's something to do, isn't it? In the space-time continuum. She's completely thrown my whole scrolling right off. Look, get off. That's it. I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done. No, I'm done. I'm done. Don't you swear at me. Get off. I'm done with your naughtiness right now. Yeah, look, completely blew the whole thing out. It's all gone now. The whole... Oh, here it is. The screen's back. Oh, hallelujah. Oh, no, it isn't. Look, I don't know what you've done, Charlie, but it keeps glitching off. If this continues, I'll have to quit for the day because it's getting nerve-wracking. It's just getting nerve-wracking. And I'm not in the middle of a market space with all my stock laid out in a crisis situation. So I can quit from this if I wanted to, Charlie. All right. I asked her if she wanted the studio portrait of Angela, and I, as if not, I'm going to burn it. I am done keeping memories of vile, treacherous abusers in my home, my sacred space, which must hold only the most, don't chew that either, pure of intent and heart. I cleared out my space, so the energy in this house, even though some of it still belongs to my mother originally, but so that it is my energy, my intent, my spirit holding together the energy of this house together. But I don't have any control over the Charlie, as you can well see. She's doing whatever she wants, whatever. Whatever, I want whatever, Mama T. All right, gotta love you, Charlie. I love your stubborn, stoic spirit. You remind me of someone. I don't know who. Oh, come on, no, really. What's that? Gosh, she can be full on like a child sometimes. Have you got Birdie ADHD? Do we have to put you on Prozac? Would you like Prozac for Birdie's, Charlie? She says, are you right out of your mind, Mama T? Prozac's not good for anyone unless you... Sometimes anorexics respond to it well, but I don't even know if that's true, really. I think we just peddled all sorts of things just to keep us mollified. Anyway, Heidi replied that it's beautiful and she wants it. Just realised my bra is on display. Excuse me. This top's a little bit too big for me. She is the only one that would want a portrait of her half-sister and myself, as her love for both of us is true, even if I am served only the merest scraps of it. Not that Heidi loves me in a scrappy way, but I see her very rarely. She lives in Sydney and I haven't seen her since my mother's death in 2010, actually. So anyway, I'm not having a go at her as a person. I just mean that it's piecemeal, the attention I get from, from certain members of my family. And there's no judgment, just it is what it is. I'm not upset about it in any way, form or manner. Heidi's a lovely woman and does keep in contact with me on Instagram. But we don't call each other, and we don't visit each other, we don't interface in 3D reality, It's just kept on that edge of my parameter kind of circling thing that I keep saying parameters lately, kept in my little box. And I don't like being contained or confined or held at arm's length, unless it's for someone's safety, because whatever. Not that I'm an unsafe person, don't get me wrong, but I don't like that feeling of like, I'll pick you up and I'll put you down and, tune you up and throw you away at my expediency. I don't like being treated like that by anyone. Not that Heidi treats me, I'm waffling. Heidi doesn't treat me like that, it's just that we have that distance between us, but the love between us, even though she's not a blood relative, is quite real and authentic. She came to my mother's funeral, she made the effort, and she supported me, which is more than what my half-sister, my bloodline half-sister, because we shared the same mother, was willing to do for me. So thank you, Heidi. Much love to you as always. I'm back in my box now. We're all sweet. I've resolved it in my mind. Once again, my laptop flew into all sorts of different directions. I didn't even press anything then. I don't know what happened. It's getting a bit mad. Is there a gene in my computer? Get out, Genie. It's fitting it goes to someone who honours that woman. My girls were not wanted as Angela was part of the vile abuse dynamic. Marika would not want it, as I am in the photo, and she was bred to hate me also. Sad but true. Bear in mind we're only 6 years apart in age, but that's the sickness and evil that we were raised with in our family. So Kismet, it will find its place with the Peder family, and at the very least, Heidi's father had been kind to me when we went to Germany when I was 8, so I am satisfied that my 5-year-old image goes back to his biological and Christian daughter, who a devout Christian, by the way, who will love it and treat it with respect, unlike his other spawn. Yesterday I gave away the tapestries, and it hit me that I was eliminating the residual energy of Kees van der Graft, for whom I was made to do that beautiful Dutch scene when I was only 9 years old. So it came to my mind with utter clarity that Dave shares his birthday, and although not a sexual predator like Kees was, he still comes to taunt me at every opportunity, unable to release the love I poured into him, even with his trail of Stepford wives in tow. Well, I'm glad that's over. That was in 2020. Oh, dear goddess. I mean, what a fucking farce that all was, really. It's just awful. Anywho. Like the perfectly possessed, here we go. Like, I don't know why, but when the air conditioning gets like quite cool, certain temperature in my room, I start coughing. It's really odd how my lungs react to things. There's a car outside I don't recognise. I think it's somebody delivering food though. Like the perfectly possessed son of Beelzebub, he seeks to constantly destroy me on some level, but I see through his masks. I just see I'm also covered in bird shit. Thanks, Charlie. And foul intent. The love runs deep and gathers around me in preternatural rage. That Kees, long dead, can still affect me via my lovers with his demon energy. Well, I think he was the last one he could affect like that because they had the energy of the same birthday, right? That was weird. There's always some freaking similarity when they arise in my life. Some trigger point that I have to then circumnavigate or overcome. Like someone surfing the biggest fucking tidal wave at times. But anyway, hopefully there's more sweetness and kindness coming my way. Hopefully. Or am I the demon, she questions herself. One who loved God so much that she converted to Judaism, only to have vicious attack after vicious attack for decades. So perhaps it is I who need scarifying and purging. But I have been cuntishly punished enough, and only God can heal the immense damage wrought by my childhood abusers and the merry band of weak, ineffectual, putrid men that came to me as lovers in my adulthood as well. but sigh. Even as I walk down the last shadows of that valley of death, I shall fear no evil, for I am the consummate catalyzation of every filthy cast-off spawn of Satan, and my Holy One has brought me through with his strong and outstretched hand, albeit held at arm's length, and with a prosaic but bored eye, he has sponsored me to be in all worlds and in all paradigms free. And while I tore my hair and bet my breast and offered up the sacrifice of much of my sanity, my equilibrium, even my uterus and gallbladder, as my insides were shot to pieces by my reactions to other people's ancient, untrammeled hate. Even as I, primal, screamed and streamed my consciousness into the ether, I remained solid and sure-footed to the only thing that anchors me to both life and to God: love. Love. So the unholy imp and his latest mistress could only run away with their tails between their legs, because love is the law and no one fucks with the Tanya. I have spoken, written my truth, and forsooth, in hell or in heaven, I will live or die by it. My superpower, my brilliance in my desecrated, misbegotten soul journey in this incarnation. Love me or hate me, sup from me, but he and others like him will never be sated by me. They will always crave more and more until they learn to fill themselves up and drink the ambrosia of the gods from their own chaste chalice. I have to laugh because it's kind of taking the form of kind of spell casting in a way, if you read between the lines. Or whether it was intentional or not, that was the flow that was emanating, right? The fluvial flow of the psychedelic dreamer. You do have to giggle sometimes. May the Holy One and all his manifestations forgive me for loving the profoundly evil that he himself sent my way for transmutation, and for blessing. The sword of Damocles swings both ways and cuts deep. May he bless me with the truest, most beautiful, most honourable love, and may my life mean something at the end of this play of light and smite. Or I have come here for nothing and wasted heart and mind and even soul. For whom does the bell toll? Little Tanya, run out by pain and her own humanity, daughter of the gods, warrior goddess, beloved. And a later or earlier, I think it will be an earlier comment, says tend to run backwards in time. The hypomania is finally subsiding as of yesterday, but instead what was up keeps falling asleep on the couch. All good. I need the rest. Oh dear goddess, I truly do. At the same point in time, 3 years later, need the rest. Oh my goodness. Anyway, tomorrow morning I have to get up early and drive to Capalaba and get new tyres on my car. So I'm both vexed about the expense of it, but excited about having, my car in order again. That will be good. That's one stressor that will be eliminated. I'm so grateful for my air conditioner. It's almost, if I was an idol worshipper, I would worship it, right? But I'm grateful to the Holy One and all manifestations who sends me my beautiful, potent, powerful friends who bless me accordingly. Always grateful, people. Always be grateful. Also for my home, where I have been able to create or obfuscate according to my will or level of health, ! Having a safe place to rest your weary head or to retreat back to after dealing with the most ignoble, perverted, fucking idiots has meant the difference between life and death for me. I'm fully conscious of not only how lucky I have been, but how zealously protected by my gods, earth angels, and truest, most devoted friends. Thank you. Aho. The Tanya is happy to announce I've obviously been to the doctor. The Tanya is happy to announce, do you like how anything medical I move into the third person as if it's not actually me, so I don't have to freaking deal with it? The Tanya is happy to announce that her liver is still fatty but slightly improved. The pain is referred pain from my verkachte fatty liver. Not dying yet, except from infernal, eternal, ancient grief and complex PTSD, but I am used to that. The old body requires a Mediterranean diet. I said, oh goody, chicken and feta, to which my doctor burst out laughing and said, no, Tanya, more olives, olive oil, vegetables, less meat, sugar and alcohol. Blech. The Tanya is incorrigible. We know. Oh, here we go. Bloody. Why are you doing that, laptop? Why? Why are you sabotaging me today? Being very naughty. You're an inanimate object with a mind of your own. You don't function like other laptops. You're incorrigible like me. Why? Why? Desiree. I don't know. Why? Now I've got to try and find my space again. Where was I? Oh, and she gave me a nasal spray to help with the eucharoid artery in my left ear, which is giving me tinnitus, tinnitus, tiny itis, tinnitus. It's tinnitus, isn't it? So that will be a relief too. Alas, no. And a former friend who shall not be named because she's now a former friend and I don't forgive. Great news. I'm directed to the same diet for inflammation and the resultant and dreaded arthritis. I've been prescribed minimal red meat, especially processed meats, which are diabolical. Oh, she meant that processed meats are diabolical. Lots of fresh, oily fish, yuck, and foods high in amino acids, double yuck, and of course lots of plant-based foods, preferably fresh, meh. And did she or he tell you that there is now a link between the aforementioned fresh foods and brain health? Yes, omega-3, blah. I am taking hemp oil capsules for my omega-3 as I hate the taste and smell of fish. I really do. It makes me vomit and heave everywhere. Why did I stop taking those? I probably should be back on those. I do feel depleted. Very, very fucking depleted. My sweet nephew begged me for gefilte fish, a boiled mass of 4 different kinds of fish made into a gelatinous loaf. Gross. My mother-in-law used to make it by hand, but I can't stand it. I will try to buy it in a jar in the kosher section, if I find it anywhere. The poor boy is missing. That is quite delightful. The poor boy being a man at that time, I think he was 38 years of age, the poor boy is missing his Jewish food and culture as he is married to a Muslim, so they mostly observe her holy days. He even offered that he'd like to have a Passover Seder with me. Poor lad has no idea that I haven't even had one of those in many years, but it would be nice to have one. The ancestors would be delighted. Well, anyway, that relationship with my former husband's nephew got derailed by, I don't know what really, envy and spite yet again. Because we were good pals, my nephew and I liked him. The last time we were all together at my place, my freaking dining table tipped up by itself. Oh yes, that was spiritual. The whole dining table lifted up by itself while we were all gathered around it. Far the fuck out. I actually got a big fright when that happened. That was how happy the familial spirits were that we were all together. I was quite freaked out, to be honest. I worried the children would be frightened. Now bear in mind, my nephew's grandfather, which was my father-in-law Harry Aarons, haunted his widowed wife for 11 months after he died by rocking his lazy boy chair, big heavy solid 1980s leather lazy boy chair, and she forbade me to breastfeed Crystal while sitting in that chair, which I found deeply comforting because she was afraid he was a dibbock and would inhabit my baby. And to be fair, the way she's behaved lately towards me, maybe he did. One wonders. But anyway, what can I say? I just realised I sound like I am diminishing my nephew. No, what I'm saying is I suspect it was my father-in-law of blessed memory who lifted the table up when we were all together in either happiness or excitement, because my father-in-law did love me when he was alive. Well, the last 6 months of his life that I formed a loving, solid relationship with him. I just realised I sound like I'm diminishing my nephew. He is not poor, or a lad, or a boy. He is 44. Okay, I remembered it before as 38, but he was 44. Man, even older. He'll be watching this like, don't age me prematurely, auntie. Don't kill me off just yet. Anyway. But I always remember him from when he was a sickly, asthmatic boy of 9 years old. Funny how time plays tricks on my mind. In response to a long article called Clash of the Titans, Jupiter and Saturn are getting closer. Pardon me. The upcoming great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn will be on December 21, 2020, the day of the December solstice. These two worlds will be visibly closer in our sky than they've been since medieval times in 1226. At their closest, Jupiter and Saturn will only be 0.1 degree apart. That's just 1/5 of a full moon diameter. Start watching them now and you'll see them draw close together, eventually appearing almost as if they have become a single point of light. Astronomers use the word conjunction to describe meetings of planets and other objects in our sky's dome. They use the term Great Conjunction to describe meetings of the two biggest worlds in our solar system, mighty Jupiter and the glorious ringed planet Saturn. The next great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn will be December 21, 2020. And they repeat the solstice, blah, blah, blah. It will be the first Jupiter-Saturn conjunction since the year 2000 and the closest Jupiter-Saturn conjunction since 1623, only 14 years after Galileo made his first telescope. However, that conjunction was only 13 degrees east of the Sun, closely following the Sun at sunset. And it is considered unlikely that it was noticed by many. The closest observable Jupiter-Saturn conjunction before that was as long ago as during medieval times in 1226. The extra close Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in 2020 won't be matched again until the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction of March 15, 2080, which I very likely won't be alive to see that, because that's 60 years in the future and I'm 57. No, I'm not. What am I saying? I'm 58 and a half. So, no, it's 57 years in the future. 57 and 58 is 115. Well, I won't be alive by then. That's ridiculous. If I'm alive by then, it would be disturbing on so many levels. When Jupiter and Saturn come together, there is both the intensity of old forms dying as well as the fertility of new growth beginning to take shape. In the past century, this cycle has aligned with the transition in between decades, with the conjunctions and oppositions between Jupiter and Saturn marking the start of each decade. For example, there was a Jupiter and Saturn conjunction in 1980, an opposition in 1990, a conjunction in 2000. That was a very bad year for me, 2000. Don't go there, girlfriends. And an opposition in 2010, another very bad year. Jupiter and Saturn will form their next conjunction on December 21, 2020, in the first degree of Aquarius, and so most of 2020 will take place during the end of their cycle. How can that be? I don't quite understand the wording of that. There will be an atmosphere of anticipation building during the year of being on the precipice of a new era. That's actually true. Even though it was the COVID epoch, there was a sensation. I was kept being told, you will get through this, you will be okay, things will start to unfold beautifully after this is over. But no one was certain if it was going to last 3 years or 5 years or 7 years, and we're still navigating the fallout from it, really. While simultaneously old issues will resurface in need of resolution. The death cult culture, absolutely. So, together Jupiter and Saturn combine expansive and imaginative vision with the structure and discipline needed to both manifest results as well as strip away the inessential. While Jupiter signifies generosity and fortunate opportunities. When did I start my little Titania's Realm business? Early January 2021. Well, not as a business, but started manifesting it. It can also lead to egoic greed and delusions of grandeur that requires the contemplative focus of Saturn to trim the excess and strengthen what is ready to ripen. At the same time, we need the inspirational revitalization of Jupiter to mediate the negative side of Saturn that can bring fear over limitations and obstacles and lead to depressive stagnation. During 2020, we will be in a constant balancing act of tempering between Jupiter and Saturn, with a need to shift in between the synthesizing growth of Jupiter and the methodical reordering of Saturn. Though, in other words, ride the wave function collapse, which I did very well, and I'm very proud of myself, by the grace of my gods, by the way, the Holy One in all manifestations. Though the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn every 20 years is always important, their union in 2020 has special and extraordinary significance. Jupiter and Saturn have a pattern of forming their conjunctions in the same element of astrology for approximately 200 years, such as occurring in water signs from the beginning of the 15th century until the beginning of the 17th century, and in fire signs from the beginning of the 17th century until the beginning of the 19th century. Since 1802, the Saturn and Jupiter conjunctions have been occurring in earth signs, with the final one occurring on May 28 of 2000 in Taurus. Trying to remember what was going on at that time. I was about to finish my admin traineeship at the Queensland Police Service Academy, which I finished. I think I finished it on the 30th of May because I had to finish it by June. Because it was June, yeah. I would have finished it on the 30th of May. After the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius in 2020, there will continue to only be conjunctions between Jupiter and Saturn in tropical air signs until 2159. Thus, 2020 is at the end of a 200-year era of Jupiter and Saturn uniting in earth signs. While the earth element signifies focus on material security and consolidation of resources that is resistant to change, the era of air will bring disruption to established orders and dramatic changes in collective ideas and the way we communicate. Vitally, not only will Jupiter and Saturn be uniting in Aquarius, they will also be forming a catalytic square aspect with Uranus and Taurus. At this pivotal moment, chopped again. Now where are we? Oh dear goddess, we're all over the show. Right, here we go. Scroll back. Why won't it scroll back? Scroll back, you little brat. Charlie, make the laptop obey me, Charlie, since you're the new world leader, because someone has to produce these results. We will reach completion, Charlie. At this pivotal moment in our journey, the lightning bolts of Jupiter and Uranus will not only bring down old societal structures, but will also impel us to release old personal dreams and drama we have been attached to. Bye, Felicia. There will be new challenges and unknown potential arising as we begin a new era of Jupiter and Saturn that we will need to make space for in our lives. During 2020, ask yourself what you need to leave behind and what you truly desire to carry forward. Written by Gray Crawford, the 2020 Great Conjunction in October 29, 2019. Okay, For each planet there is an associated, sit up and pay notice, because this is what I saw in my trance vision and ecstatic dance, right? The images in alchemy for both Jupiter and Saturn. So I was being tapped on the shoulder. Be ready, girlfriend, for anything and everything. Everything's going to be thrown at you. And so it was, and still is. Some of it delightful though, and healing, and life-affirming, and loving. So thank you for those beautiful souls in my life. For Jupiter there is tin, and for Saturn there is lead. That's why I posted this, because it was a very appropriate, very synchronistic timing that this article came to me also, by the way. Again, my angels and ancestors that love me, giving me the heads up that I needed for to navigate the next 3 years. The most common alloy, which is to say, union or concoction of tin and lead, is used as a type of solder. What did I need to master for my silversmithing journey? I had to learn how to solder sterling silver together. Ow. And copper. Do you see how the universe was sending me very profound messages? It's astonishing, people. Astonishing, Charlie. Solder is something that unites, typically a metal or metallic alloy used when melted to bond together and solidly join metals. For electronics, it is traditionally an amalgam of tin and lead. Now, molten metal is a tricky beast because it behaves a bit like water. Of particular interest is its surface tension. Molten metal will ball up if it doesn't find something to stick to. I discovered that. In general, metal likes to stick to metal, but doesn't like to stick to oils or oxidized metals, which is why when you're soldering your jewellery, you have to make sure that both surfaces are scrupulously clean, or they just won't solder together. It's impossible. You can keep trying, baby, but you'll just drive yourself mad, as I discovered. And through handling, they get exposed to grime and other corruption, such as oils from our skin. The solution is to clean the parts and boards first, and maybe your browser history. But wait, didn't Saturn or Kronos eat Jupiter or Zeus, which are the same gods but in their Greek and Roman names, or rather Roman and Greek names respectively? Oh, come on, it's frozen again. When I grow up, I'm going to have a laptop that obeys me. I'm going to have so many things when I grow up. Oh, come on. Where are you? Where did you go? Why did you disappear? Why am I even here making these videos? What is the meaning of life? Repeat. But wait, didn't Saturn or Kronos eat Jupiter or Zeus? Or was there some kind of trickery or a switch, a fast one? Is it the Olympian planet Jupiter set to occult or overshadow the Titanic planet Saturn after all? Perhaps youth will consume old age this time around. Power, love, wisdom, you all. The 2020 grand finale quickly approaches. Be excellent to each other or party on, dudes. Wayne's World. No, you can't be sitting on that. No, get off. Naughtiness. Yes, that's very naughty. You're very mischievous today, Charlie. Okay, so that was that entire article I've read now, which was powerful and potent, which is why I actually shared it on my vocal media and my Facebook and kept a copy of that, because that was very powerful synchronistic advice. Yes, my darling, I love you too. Oh, Charlie. Interesting, I reply. I was shown... It's just jumped up. It's just freaking jumped again. Why is it jumping? Does anyone know about laptops and why this is jumping all over the freaking place? It's making me crazy, people. Which isn't hard to do. You know, my infamous last week move and everything. It's now so bad it won't even let me go back to where I was. Look at it. It just keeps doing this. See what I'm complaining about? Maybe I should just turn it off and turn it back on again. Don't laugh. No, it just keeps skipping to the bottom. Right, I'm going to close out. I'm going to close it out. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to remain calm. I'm going to remain powerful. I'm going to remain gorgeous. Well, maybe not gorgeous, but I'm going to remain something. I'm going to hold my shit together, and I'm going to do this. Ready? 1, 2, 3. We're going back in. Breaker, breaker, we're going back in. Oh, dear goddess. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Which means, yes, I have to scroll all the way to find the correct date, because for some reason it keeps going to the wrong day every freaking day. I don't think it's going to work, people. I think we've lost all of that. We've lost all of that. Well, maybe we need to walk away from it. Charlie, shall we walk away from it? What do you say, Charlie? What do you think, Charlie? Say, I don't know, but I love you, Mama T. Don't worry, be happy, Mama T. It's all gonna be okay, Mama T. What if it's not gonna be okay, Charlie? Then, no matter what, I love my Mama T. You know what, Charlie? That's good enough for me. Pep talks you tell yourself when you're bordering into a hypomanic psychosis because your computer won't work. Where did it go? Like, where? Completely. Oh, page 4. I have to remember it's on page 4 if we get kicked out of this frickin' system again, so I can find it more quickly next time. Because this is just driving me bats. Right, here we go. I need a cuddle, I need a cuddle, I need a cuddle, but I'm having a birdie cuddle. My birdie's cuddling me. No, she's not. She's creating anarchy and chaos. But it's sort of a birdie cuddle, kind of, sort of. Very funny, Charlie. Very funny indeed. All right, here we go. Oh, thanks, Charlie. You're revealing my bra. I guess it could be worse. I could not be wearing one. I was tempted to not wear a bra today. I'm so exhausted. But trying to be a respectable Yiddish mama for YouTube. It's all crazy. Right, here we go. We're back in the room, darlings. We're back in the room. Okay, here we go. Interesting. I was shown both alchemical symbols for lead and tin, Jupiter and Saturn, at the end of last year. I had no idea what they meant in relation to me personally. I better sit up and take notice, as this conjunction might be powerful for me personally. Otherwise, I still have no idea why Spirit gifted me those alchemical symbols. Now, I wrote this and I posted this on the 3rd of December 2020, and it made no sense to my mind, right? But what did I begin in early January, 8th of January to be exact, 2021? My flatware jewellery making journey, for which, about, a few months into it, I discovered I need to learn how to solder. So what was mentioned in one of the articles? That the tin and the lead were used for soldering. So now, hindsight, literally 2020 hindsight, as of even date in 2023, the symbology and the intent of the messages passed on to me make perfect sense. It's just unfortunate that I had no idea what they actually were talking about at that time point. It had no reference. So, but it taught me a valuable lesson, that I was opening up to the spirit world and that I was indeed being offered guidance and instruction, and at times direct freaking orders to obey on pain of death, my gods of my understanding. Quite frankly, I don't always understand them. And when they pass me messages, they're not always as clear and concise and succinct and logical as that. So I can spend sometimes weeks or months trying to pass out cryptic terminology, which is why I get really frustrated when I do trance drumming, for example, and I get fed random words and they make no coherent sense until much, much later. It'll kind of come together, like when you bake a cake in the oven, it's all mush and disparate ingredients, and then it rises with the baking powder and suddenly you have this delicious feast, right? But in the process of it, you're just stuck in this kind of mush and melee and confusion, and what does that mean and what does that mean? And it's only when you pull all the little threads carefully together, like in my beautiful tapestry weavings. It's doing it again. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. It's only then that the process and the meaning makes perfect sense. But in recent months, like this beautiful spiritual, encounter I had yesterday, both Jared and I had yesterday, with that lovely family, again, here's the intent being shown me. Why does it do that? Have I been hacked or something? Go away. It's like I've been hacked. I've probably been hacked. Yeah, wait, it's taken over control of my computer. I don't know what that means. I'm not a techie person. I'm not a computer tech. I need a genius. Look, it won't even let me do the space bar now. So weird. This is just so weird. Okay, I'm navigating it by hitting the space bar and unsticking whatever's stuck and just ignoring it. I literally feel sick. I've struggled so hard with this laptop today. I posted an article about the aged care minister by Get Up on 1st of December 2020, posted a video. Oh, it was a video. One thing to promise change, it's another to deliver it. It's time for the Morrison government to take responsibility for their neglect of aged care. You think? They also murdered my father with kidney sepsis, failed to take him to a hospital in Shepparton, Victoria, in a timely manner. This was March 2017. What hope has anyone got with COVID, especially the vulnerable, poor, homeless, or marginalised? The Australian government blatantly is committing genocide by leaving our most vulnerable to die, either by domestic violence, systemic abuses, or now with COVID-related failures in duty of care. So, and we're seeing the fallout of that still now, here in 2023. Here's another article I posted. Newly installed air conditioners in Queensland state schools unusable during heat wave, which is insane. Insane to do that to our young children in this incredibly hot climate here in the subtropics. Charlie, no, Charlie and I are having a fight. Charlie, come here. That's it. That's it. Good girl. Funny how she obeys when the camera's on her. Little poser. I wrote, outrageous. I well remember my daughters and their entire class freezing cold in winter at Sinai College. I took in a small fan heater and told the teacher, Tanya Torren, to rotate the kiddies in front of it, especially the ones whose health were precarious. I was absolutely astonished there was no proper heating at that time, and no air conditioning either. Bear in mind it was a very, very small, exclusive little private school with only 40 children in it. But by the gods, I could not stand by idly and watch my kids and their classmates freeze to death in winter. It was kind of appalling, really. So I brought in a little tiny blow heater, which was all I had, to make sure they had some warmth, because I am a mamati and a shaman, and that is my role, people. Even though I'm hated for it by and large. Does anyone here in Brisbane know where to buy Hanukkah candles? Coles did not sell them last year at Greenslopes, and Woolworths advertises them on their website, but does not sell them in Brisbane either. It's ridiculous. Update. Jared and I have brainstormed where to buy Hanukkah candles. They cost a small fortune to buy on eBay with postage. And yes, they still cost a small fortune, but I was blessed again by my beautiful earth angel this year. And I didn't even ask her to send them to me, but she knows it becomes a thing every year now. So again, thank you to that wonderful, wonderful person. So I am thinking spell candles, or buying from the Catholic supply shop the little tapers they use. That's getting desperate, people, when you got to buy the tapers from the Catholics because you can't get your own Jewish candles for Hanukkah at Hanukkah time in Brisbane, Australia. Yes, I'm still going to kvetch about it because it's weird and annoying. Stop chewing my little wooden clogs. So possibly ask a priest to bless them too, to eliminate the dibuk in the roof. Sniggers. I might buy some holy water as well. Of course I was joking. I've no intention of doing any of that. Although holy water's not such a bad idea. Just saying. If the Brisbane community can't or won't supply them, then Mamati will have to get creative and think laterally. Other option is to use olive oil like we did in ancient times, or tea lights. I really resented missing out on my Festival of Light last year. It's okay if I don't observe Hanukkah out of blasé apathy, but having my options of observing it denied me as a basic human right is quite another matter. And my beautiful friend said, watch for a parcel from Gold's, Happy Hanukkah, dear Tanya, kiss, kiss. And I replied, that is very sweet of you, but you are naughty. Thank you. Much love to you, my earth angel, kiss, kiss. And she replied, right back at you, kiss, kiss. I have posted off the childhood portrait to Heidi, who is delighted to receive it. It was actually a large blown-up photograph portrait. The postage cost $17, which was not as bad as I expected. Hopefully it arrives in one piece. I wrapped it in various scraps of bubble wrap I had lying around the house, which was good, as it was also useless clutter. See, I really do try to recycle, people, most of the time. The post office lady was very kind. In general, people have been much kinder to me in recent months. There was a real shift in 2020. It was really noticeable. Nothing like a pandemic to make people be more conscious of the thin veil between life and death and treat others with sweetness. Pity it took that surreal 2020 shake-up to kick people up the butts. Sighs. Next job, doctor for the results. Then I might continue with my Swedish death cleaning and go through all my photos and chuck out or burn any dross or unhappy or irrelevant memories. Been wanting to do that for some time, but the genealogist in me posts them on Facebook or Ancestry, as I hate to lose truth, like that Christmas photo from 1972, the one where I'm like, and my mother's like, which is hilarious. I don't know why I find it so funny now. But you see, I'm healing, babies. I'm fucking healing. Bit by bit, I am healing. I'm on my journey to full thriving. It's going to be awesome, babies. You're either with me, or you're not. But if you're with me, it's going to be awesome. But you'll have to put up with my quirky ways, I'm afraid. They're part of the bundle. The picture of trauma really does paint 1,000 words. So I'm keeping that one. And thank you, Brekkie, for so insightfully recognising the horror and trauma in it. Clever woman. 3rd of December 2019. Oh no, I'll just stop it, Tanya. It's actually not funny. You're having a meltdown, Tanya. I'm okay, darlings. 2019. I just bought my ticket for the Mojo Burning Festival on 28th of March. Woohoo! I missed out the last several years. Looking forward to seeing some awesome blues, stomp, stoner, rock bands. Although, as usual, I will be one of the oldest there. Never mind, that won't stop me. And my friend Julie wrote, you are going to have so much fun. Wear practical footwear. Because she knows what I'm like, right? The queen of inappropriate shoes, then complaining about my horribly painful feet and legs after dancing and moshing all night in inappropriate shoes. Today my lungs are behaving better, but now I have a swollen jaw and gums in my lower jaw. What the fuck? This is getting arduous. But I have watered the garden and sprinkled one of my kookaburra visitors, Kookaburra Charlie, who closed his eyes and smiled at me in gratitude, Charlie. Gratitude. A great blessing of a bird. I just ate half an avocado on toast and a whole mango. Yum. My whole body is vibrating with the extra energy. Good. As I feel so weak. It's been another long, hard week of illness and the asthma is still plaguing me. That usually lasts 6 to 8 weeks. But I'm gradually getting a bit better, although I could not fall asleep until 3 a.m. last night. It's hard to heal your body and mind on very little sleep. But today is 3.5 hours I had last night, people. 3.5 fucking hours. Don't ask me how I'm doing this, but I am going to bed when I finish this video. No regrets. Je ne regrette rien. But I am getting weary. But today is another hot but beautiful day. I'm sitting outside with Charlie, and Beauregard, and Charlie. And the wind is getting wilder, so I am making the most of each day, as I have always done. Charlie's thinking about that.